Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and these are the 10 best common cards to craft in the One Night and Karazhan standard format meta. Starting off at the number 10 spot, it is the Druid spell, Wrath. This is a flexible 2-mana spell that can both remove small, threatening minions in the early game, but also gives you the flexibility to ping something off and draw a card if you're low on resources in the late game. It's been a staple for Druid for a very long time, since it is a part of the classic set. At the number 9 spot, it's the Mage card, Mana Worm. I don't see this one going away anytime soon. It is a part of the classic set, and it's the ultimate turn 1 play for any sort of Mage deck that's looking to have the slightest of aggressive curves, and it synergizes so well with the rest of their cards that this is going to be a fundamental piece of the class for a very long time to come. For my number 8 card, I've got the Hunter spell, Unleash the Hounds. This is the ultimate 3-mana answer to a big board of minions, and it combos so well with various pieces of the Hunter's kit, and it has such a powerful instant effect that it seems like Unleash the Hounds will continue to synergize with new cards as they're released and stay a fundamental piece of the Hunter puzzle. Moving on to the number 7 spot, it is the Rogue spell, Eviscerate. This one is fundamental to success in Rogue. It's one of the best damage spells in the game. For 2 mana, it can be used as both tempo removal, but also to kill your opponent, which Rogues are actually quite good at. So Eviscerate has been around forever, and it will stay around forever. This card is going to give you value in the long term if you craft it and want to play Rogue. At the number 6 spot, it's the Warlock spell, Power Overwhelming. Now, Warlock actually has a few 1-mana common cards that are worth crafting, but I think this one is going to give you the most consistent payback over a long period, just because it's good in 2 ways. It's great at trading up a small board into bigger threats, which a Zoo Warlock archetype is wont to do, but it's also fantastic as a high-damage finishing spell with certain combos, particularly with charging minions, so it even functions in late game control style decks too, and that flexibility means crafting Power Overwhelming is going to pay dividends if it's in your collection and you find ways to play Warlock. Now moving on to the top 5, it's something a little different. Ravaging Ghul is actually the first non-classic set card that I've recommended. This is part of the Whispers of the Old Gods expansion, which means this will actually rotate out of standard format eventually, but despite that, this card is just so strong and so dominant and so pervasive in warrior decks that you have to craft Ravaging Ghul if you plan to play almost any kind of warrior. The effect is too good, the minion is so outright powerful and meta defining that you can't pass this card up if warrior is a class that you like to play. And now for the top 4, we do something different once again. This time we move on to neutral cards. Thus far every card has been a class-defining, class-specific card, but I do think neutral cards are always going to give you more flexible value in your collection because they can be played across a variety of classes and therefore played in more decks. So if you want to get the most bang for your dust, neutral cards, of course, are the way to do it. And at the number 4 spot, we start off with the card Dire Wolf Alpha. This one might not look like much to some people, but it's played in a surprising number of decks, particularly in Zoo archetype decks and Warlock, where it helps you trade small things up into bigger things and utilize a small board of minions. But it also has Beast synergies available to it. So with the rise of Beast Druid and, of course, Hunter using Beast synergies always, it seems like Dire Wolf Alpha can pay back a lot in a variety of decks just because it has a cool, consistent effect and seems like a minion that has been played forever and isn't going to go away anytime soon. Moving on to the number 3 spot, it's another minion that isn't exactly all that flashy. The 1-mana Argent Squire doesn't seem to pack much of a punch, but she's one of the most consistent and sticky early game minions available in the classic set, which means she often gets slotted in as the go-to 1-drop for a wide variety of decks, allowing them to do cool stuff, use her to trade up, and just contest the early board so that they don't fall too far behind. So Argent Squire may not seem like she's going to make your decks or collection all that much stronger, but you'll be surprised just how positive of an impact this card has. For my number 2 pick, it's one of the few common cards that's actually played in control archetypes. It is the Acolyte of Pain, and it's really one of the best card draw resources in the game. It allows you to draw up to 3 cards, sometimes even more, depending upon the class. but it's a great way to play an early minion that still gets you late game value in a controlled deck, and that's why Acolyte of Pain shows up in so many different late game oriented decks, despite not looking like it does all that much or contests the board all that well. This is a consistently played card that will pay you back in the long run if you ever plan to play slower decks. And now for my top pick, it surprises even me. It is the Abusive Sergeant. There's something about this card. It doesn't seem like it should be good, but it just keeps showing up in decks. Any deck that is aggressive seems to find a way to run Abusive Sergeant. There is some raw power in being able to add 2 attack to your board. It allows you to trade up. It allows you to push for extra damage. The minion itself is still a little bit threatening as a 2-attack minion for only 1 mana. So even you can play it on turn 1 by itself and still have a reasonable board. And that flexibility and that utility and the ability for this battle cry to combo with other things makes Abusive Sergeant that surprisingly amazing card that just doesn't seem or feel like he's all that good, and yet people keep adding him to decks because he improves their consistency and their raw power as well. So yeah, you might not feel great about it, but trust me, if you craft Abusive Sergeant, you're going to end up playing him a ton. So get out there, make the Abusive Sergeant, and make your decks a little bit better. And that's it for my top 10 list of the best common cards to craft in the One Night in Karazhan standard format meta. I'm sure you think I'm crazy. I'm sure I missed some cards. I know I got the order all wrong. So why don't you share your thoughts in the comments below? I appreciate all your time. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, game on.